What up everyone, it is Toshi and today we're going to be talking about Demon Slayer Volume 16. We start off Volume 16 with Himejima's training, the Stone Hashira. We see that Tanjiro, Inosuke and Zenitsu are told that there are three sections of the training. The first one is waterfall training, the second one is they have to lift like three really massive logs, and the third one is they need to push a boulder like one cho. And that's like an old Japanese unit of measurement. I don't really know how to like translate that into like modern day English. But basically they've been told that they have to complete this training in order to progress further into like the Hashira selection process, I guess. I don't know, I'm not a Demon Slayer, I don't know how it works, unfortunately. We also see a scene towards the beginning in the training where Genya speaks about something called repetitive motion. So as we know, Genya cannot use breathing. You can't use flame breathing, water breathing, thunder breathing, nothing. But what he can use is repetitive motion, and he states that Himejima uses it too, which is when you perform a predetermined action to greatly boost your concentration and the effectiveness of your attack. So Genya says that him and Himejima both recite like some sort of Buddhist prayer as that predetermined action before they attack, or before they do anything really, in order to just boost the concentration and the effectiveness, I guess. I don't really know, it wasn't really explained really well. We also see that Muzan is searching for Nezuko and Ubuyashiki using that that demon with like the long hair and the biwa, the guitar thing. Nakime, I believe is her name, something like that. But anyway, we see that he is searching for Nezuko and Ubuyashiki. We see Tanjiro and Inosuke pass Himejima's training, although Zenitsu doesn't. So we get to see a little bit of Himejima's backstory when he has a conversation with Tanjiro. We find out that he used to raise orphans at a temple. I believe there was 9 of them in the temple, including Himejima. And one night, one of the children snuck out after dark or refused to come home before dark, and had encountered a demon. And that boy had basically said that, if the demon spared him, he would take the demon back to the temple where Himejima and the other orphans were at. So it's basically like, if you let me go, I'll take you to all these people, you can kill them instead. 7 out of the 8 children were killed by the demon. Himejima survived, Sayo survived, the little girl that Himejima saved. However, because Sayo was so young, and obviously the demon's body had disappeared by daylight when the authorities turned up, Sayo's, she couldn't really make sense of what had just happened due to the shock and the trauma and her age, communication barriers and that. So Himejima was obviously arrested for the murder of those children despite being innocent, and he was due to be executed. However, Ubuyashiki appeared before him, made him a Demon Slayer, and Himejima and Tanjiro have a lot of mutual respect for each other because of their backgrounds. We see Muzan finally appear at Ubuyashiki Mansion. We see a long conversation between the two. We find out that Muzan and Ubuyashiki are actually of the same bloodline, of the same clan. However, because Muzan was born over 1,000 years ago, they are most definitely not closely related. Although we do see a little scrapbook page of Ubuyashiki's and Muzan's face, and they do resemble each other quite a lot, almost as if they were twins. But Ubuyashiki states to Muzan that Muzan's dream is to be undying, right? Ubuyashiki states that the only thing that is truly undying in the world are human feelings, and the example he used for that was how, even though in over 1,000 years, loads of Demon Slayers, young or old, have died, Hashira and, normal Demon Slayers alike. And he states that even though they're so, outclassed, I guess, by demons, due to them just being so much faster, stronger, even though so many of them have died, the fact that the Demon Slayers are still a thing, the Hashira is still a thing, they're still fighting, proves that human feelings are undying, at least from Ubuyashiki's perspective. We see a emergency summons to Ubuyashiki Mansion. We see the Hashira heading towards the mansion, but it's way too late. The mansion explodes. Ubuyashiki is dead, so are his wife and 2 of his children. Muzan is heavily injured, but he's he will recover. Do you get what I mean? He's not just a demon, he's like the king of the demons. We then see a blood demon art called Seeds of Flesh is used against Muzan, and they sort of stretch and poke through his body. We then see Tamayo appear and state that this blood demon art is the blood demon art of the person that Muzan turned in Asakusa towards the beginning of the manga. We see that Tamayo, the concoction that she created to turn demons back into humans, she has, I guess, sort of injected it into Muzan's chest, like into his system. Don't know if it's taken effect, don't know if it's going to work, but we do know that that has happened. And we then see all the Hashira, well, we see Himejima appear first and destroy Muzan's head, and then we learn that even if you destroy Muzan's head, it doesn't kill him, it just goes back, only sunlight can. We see the rest of the Hashira appear, attempt to attack Muzan, and then we see Muzan smile as the Hashira are transported into the Infinity Castle, and they're all separated and split up. There's demons everywhere. Shinobu is on her own. She encounters Doma, which is the demon that killed her sister. We get a little bit of Shinobu's background, how her sister was killed by a demon that she couldn't name the demon, but she gave a very good description. And now that Shinobu has encountered Doma, who is the upper rank 2, 12 Kizuki demon, she can tell, from her memory, the description, that this is the demon that killed her sister. And she gets confirmation when she pulls out her sister's old coat, which she was obviously wearing when Doma attacked and killed her. Anyway, they begin to fight. Shinobu uses a thrusting technique, which we learn that even though she's not strong enough to cut off a demon's head, A, obviously she created a poison that could kill demons, and B, her thrusting technique is extremely powerful. Like, it could pierce a boulder, and it's even stronger than that water breathing technique, like drop, lip, or thrust, which is like the stabbing technique. Her thrusting technique, her stabbing technique is the strongest in the Hashira. We also see Doma state that Shinobu is the fastest Hashira he has ever encountered. We get a little bit of Doma's backstory, how he was, when he was a kid, his parents like invented some religion, and thought that he could hear like the voices of the gods and all that shit. And obviously, he was too young to understand that. As he got older, he just pretended and had gone along with it. But he just felt really sad for humanity, like all these people are coming to me crying because like their lives are over and broken and they're upset, and I'm a child and I can't do nothing, but they just think I'm God. Do you get what I mean? We see that Shinobu is obviously trying to use poison against Doma, because obviously the thrusting technique won't work. You have to cut off the head, but you can't do that because she's not strong enough. So as always, she attempts to use poison, but it's quickly made clear that Doma, I don't know if he's immune to like all poison or if it's just the poison that Shinobu was using. And even though she tried to modify it and change it each time, it didn't work. So at the very end of this volume, we see that Shinobu launches one final attack against Doma's neck, because I think the belief is like, if she injects him with the poison in the neck, because it's so close to the head and the brain, it should like sever it away. I think that's her mentality anyway, I'm not too sure. We see that Doma's weapon is a pair of sharp fans. That's pretty cool, katana vibes if any of you ever played Mortal Kombat. That pretty much does it for volume 16 of Demon Slayer. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. This is Toshi, signing out.